Is this thing on?
Welcome back to another episode of Spooled Life Live. I'm your host, Ram Garcia, and we are in the beautiful Roy's Bait and Tackle studio. We got Steven in the house to help you out with all your fishing tackle needs. Who I'm seeing right now, Lino. I'm seeing Matt over here at the fly shop. If y'all haven't fly fished ever in y'all's lives, I feel like that is the next step, right? I mean, I'm all for fishing with lures, right?
Sure.
Hell, I'm all for fishing with dead shrimp, right?
Of course.
If you're gonna have a ice chest full of beer and like a barbecue pit full of weenies, heated up some hot dog buns, a little bit of mustard, right? Some chili. I'm not into the relish, sweet relish.
No?
I'll take some dill relish.
Okay.
Got a hell of a show for you. Right? We're going to go straight to the Mexican restaurant after this.
Yeah, we definitely did.
Right?
Yeah.
Guys, be safe out there. There's a storm rolling around. I'm not sure where the heck it's at. It's definitely, if you were up north, on the way over here.
Yeah, it rolled through hard
right
on me this morning.
You ran into it.
Oh, yeah.
This morning about what, 8 o'clock?
About 8 o'clock.
Right, 8:30. Yeah, around there. It was headed towards Houston area. Be safe, guys. It's not worth the troubles, your car stalling or hail damage or... I mean, I guess if you're going to have hail damage, you're going to get it at the house, too. If it's not covered up, if you don't have some
Or you do like those people that in Houston and stop all the traffic on I-45.
I mean, you
just
start going slow, right?
Just get off the road, man.
You know, all those Teslas are in the way. You have to go around all the Teslas that are stalled out. I'm just kidding. Elon Musk just deleted himself from the group. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
Elon's not on the chat anymore.
Right. Shout out to Salty Head, Roel Frias, Adam Gonzalez, Ernest Abrego in the house, Rebecca Hoover, and Michael Shavers in the house.
Mike.
Guys, if y'all are visiting Corpus, cruise into Roy's Bait and Tackle, it's Shimano days, right?
Yeah.
I myself am a Daiwa fan, right? If you hand me a Shimano, they make some pretty damn good reels.
Dude, I've got a 50E Chronarch that I've been throwing since like 2015.
The white one?
The white reel.
Oh, yeah. Those are the best ones.
I just put new bearings in it, and they keep working.
Yeah, those were the smaller, compact ones. Yep. I think what compares to that in the Daiwa realm is the Coastal 80.
Yeah.
Right? That's another damn good reel,
dude. My thing is reliability, and the Daiwas and the Shimano.
Oh, yeah.
Not saying anything bad about the other ones, but man.
You're already paying so much for these things,
Oh, yeah.
You want it to last. You want it to perform. Most importantly, you want it to catch fish.
And we're different down here. I mean, as far as our salinity.
Oh, yeah.
Corpus, Baffin, Lower Laguna Madre. I mean, it eats reels.
Yeah. One thing I hate is cleaning my reels when I get home.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do that. I want to just get them off the truck to the garage and then be ready to go the next weekend.
Yeah. I just hit them with a little Reel Magic and wipe them off, maybe a little oil. I try not to dunk them.
I think it's a cleanse oil.
Yeah.
Is that one?
Cleanse oil? Man, there's so much stuff out there. I can't keep track.
You have to, there's no ways around. You have to maintain.
Oh, sure.
Everything breaks, right?
Yeah.
But they're here. Mr. Brian Barrera will be here tomorrow for the seminar. If there is anybody in South Texas that could put up a damn good seminar, it's Ram Garcia. But second best is probably Brian Barrera, man.
Dude, that guy's got it dialed in.
Dude, bro.
The tarpon and just fishing down there, he has got it dialed in.
Jeez, man.
He has got it
dialed in. If you haven't cruised into Brian Barrera's media sites, media pages, cruise in, that'll just hook you to go catch a tarpon.
Oh, yeah, you'll want to go
South Texas.
He does. He's got it. He's got to figure it out.
Yeah, it's a heartbeat. It's not whether you're going to catch one. It's when can you cruise down to South Texas?
Yeah.
And we'll put you
on
a fish of a lifetime.
And snook. He's got the snook dialed in too. Oh, yeah. He's got it.
He's not afraid to tell you how he's catching these things.
No.
Like he'll tell you straight out on his media.
Yeah.
Right? That's crazy.
This is how I do it.
It's no secret.
It's not rocket science. It's really not.
Real down to earth guy.
Yeah.
Right.
You better have the gear for it though.
Oh yeah.
Tarpon will absolutely trash your gear.
Well, I'm sure he provides the gear, right?
Oh yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He does.
It's an all-inclusive trip.
But yeah,
all you got to do is make your way down south.
He's got the good gear. He's got a good boat. You know, he's got to figure it out. He really does.
If you could make your way down south, make your way past the tamale place. What is it called?
Delia's?
Yeah, Delia's. If you can go past Delia's and not stop.
I have a hard time doing that.
Yeah, you'll have a trip of a lifetime there, right?
For sure.
But guess what? He'll be here tomorrow. Cruise in. Listen to what he's got to say, learn something. And I want to say they got a whole bunch of sales. They might be giving away a whole bunch of Shimano stuff, right? Guys, no brainer. I mean, what else could you possibly be doing on a Saturday? Beach to bay is over. Cruise into Roy's Bait and Tackle. Sit down. I'm sure they'll have some beverages, some snacks.
Yeah.
Right?
It's going to be blowing 30 miles an hour anyway.
Is it?
Might as well come in.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be howling tomorrow.
So. Yeah. It's not a good weekend to be on the water.
No.
It's either going to be a good weekend to be here at Roy's Bait and Tackle or be at the JW Marriott in San Antonio.
Yeah. Doing the lazy
floating
river.
Around.
Yeah.
Lazy river.
That's not a bad way to spend a weekend.
Yeah. All right. Guys. Man, we got a hell of a show today. Coming from first, we've had several guests come in that do not prefer the alcoholic beverage. We got something for y'all today, guys. We got some Karbach here, non-alcoholic, and we are going to drink the hell out of these today.
And they're good.
Yeah,
they're very tasty.
We're gonna find out. I have never tried.
And you don't
one
fight
of
the
these before.
cops after you drink them.
Oh yeah,
It's
dude.
awesome.
But I might just be that just might be in me. You know what I mean? You know, if I get pulled over, guess what? I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna be like, "Man, Mr. Garcia, you didn't even have alcohol in you.
You fought the taser off good, dude.
Yeah, man, you beat us.
Yeah.
You know what? But it's okay."
That's very tasty, man. I'm kind of getting to be a connoisseur of non-alcoholic, because I don't drink. And
how many years have you not drink anymore?
I've been sober going on. It'll be 13 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this September. Yeah,
that's pretty damn good, man.
Yeah, it was a decision that I had to make. So,
oh really?
It was one of those like it didn't agree with me.
Yeah.
It just was one of those things that I had to do. Not everybody's like that, but for me, that's what I had to do.
I see a lot of posts that, I've been 15 years this, I've been 50 years this, I've been 75 years sober. And I'm always like, man, and I hope I don't offend anybody or get anybody pissed off about it. But it's like you said, it's something that you had to do, right?
Yeah, it's a personal decision.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, you could get in severe trouble.
Oh.
If you don't stop, right?
I know.
Dude, DWIs.
Oh yeah.
You can kill somebody.
There's a litany of problems that come with it for some people, and for me, it was just like, no, can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, because that was in the back of my truck. Can you just? We'll figure it out.
All right, here we go. So we're drinking non-alcoholic Karbach today. It's free and easy. That's what it's called. It's IPA. That's kind of weird, right? It's an IPA and non-alcoholic.
Right.
From Karbach, home of the Houston Astros.
Yep.
And home of Spooled Life. Right.
There you go.
What am I getting there? I'm getting a little bit of citrus.
Mm-hmm.
A whole lot of citrus.
Yep.
I'm not getting much alcohol, right?
No, you're not getting any.
Yeah, none whatsoever.
Less than 0.5%. So it's like that's me, when it's hot outside.
Less than 0.5.
Yeah.
So it possibly could have some.
Well, I mean, it's got about as much as mouthwash, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
that doesn't count.
You'd have to go through a whole bunch of those. I just like a cold beer on a hot day.
Man.
Like get off the water and just.
So you like the flavor?
Mm-hmm, I do.
Right?
I actually do.
It's a good flavor.
Yeah. It's refreshing. It's the only carbonated anything that I drink. I don't drink sodas or anything like that.
So. I do taste the carbonation.
Oh yeah, it's there. It's got all that. But it's just tasty. It's good stuff. And I didn't know they made
Me neither.
a non-alcoholic till I got here, so I'm going to order some or see if they got it at HEB where I'm at in Lavernia. You know,
I'm pretty sure. Is it a HEB Plus?
Oh no, not in Lavernia. No. We don't
Then
have
they
plus
probably don't
anything.
have it. You might want to stop at Specs on the way out.
Yeah, I might have to do that.
SPID.
Yeah,
They got it.
Right.
But the only thing bad is that it's not in the cold section. It might be good for you since you're traveling, but it was bad for me because I wanted it cold.
Right.
They're like, yeah, the non-alcoholic is over there.
Yeah.
I was like, man, there ain't even no coolers over there.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, man, it wasn't hot.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, dude, never come in here ever again. Guys, I got a hell of a show. Let me introduce my guest. Nobody knows who the heck he is, right? I got none other than Darren from Feral Concepts in the house.
Thanks for having me, man.
Thank you so much for cruising in.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
Obviously, the weather was bad.
Very bad.
Right?
Very bad. There were tree limbs flying around my house.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, dude. It was probably 50-mile-an-hour winds.
So it was like tornado?
Not like that, but it was one of those. It got so dark, I got a little worried for a minute. I was like, man, this is getting ready to get ugly.
Yeah, dude.
And drove out of it and then drove back into it when I got here to Corpus.
So. Well, as soon as you got into your truck at home, you were in panic mode because you forgot.
Yeah.
Quite a bit of stuff.
I was supposed to drop off 13 flat satchels here to Roy's that just put in an order for that, a bunch of waiter boxes and everything else and get restocked. And we're up here getting ready to go live. And she walks up and she's like, where are the flat satchels? I'm like, they're in the box. Leave me alone. You know, she's like, they're not in there. I'm like, yes, they are. I'm like, oh, crap, they're not in there.
Show me that they're not in there.
I was like, show me. And I looked down and was like, oh, no. I was packing another order and filled that one and probably got distracted by a phone call or something.
Yeah, well, you were excited. You were excited, and you're like, man.
Yeah, I was like, I get to go see Ram and spend time with him on the podcast. You know, let's get this moving. And the thing is, what's getting to me is I packed that order like 2 days ago, so I had everything ready to go. It was ready. It's like I want to have this ready, so I'm not running around last minute. Had it packed, and forgot the flat satchels, but they will be here in 2 days.
Oh yeah.
So
piece of cake.
So like I had to.
Y'all aren't fishing this weekend anyway.
Yeah.
Right. We got a hell of a seminar tomorrow. It's going to be blowing 30-something miles an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some good fish being caught right now.
There's some. Actually, the wind's your friend right now, I think.
Yeah.
Because we did that the other night. Me and my buddy Sean went out and fished Baffin. And, he's got a little 18-foot redfish line and not necessarily the best boat for the chop. And great boat,
What kind is it?
It's a Mayak redfish, great boat. I mean, bulletproof boat. Yeah. But when it gets super, super rough, probably not the one you want to be in, especially an 18-footer. And I mean, you know how Baffin can get. It can get ugly fast, and it was just ugly. So we barreled through some swells and got really back in this one little corner. And, we were fishing under the moon at night waiting. And we got into some fish, caught some fish on topwater. It was fun.
Yeah.
Good time.
Yeah. The Mayak. Mm-hmm. I see a lot of people ditching the Mayak and getting a Mamba.
I think.
You know any guys in the Mamba?
No.
I've never been in a Mamba either.
I've most of the guys I know run the Haney's. They run Haney's, shoal waters, and Mayaks. That's and shallow sports. Yeah. Mostly a lot of the guys down Lower Laguna, Mansfield South. Yeah. You see a lot of them up here, but man, you get Mansfield South and you see a lot of shallow sports.
Oh yeah,
because they're built down there. Yeah. They're made for that.
Yeah, they got buddies that work there, and they're like, hey.
Yeah, I don't know. Even with the friends and family, that's probably that's still a pretty steep price tag. But that's a custom made boat, and
you could probably get a Mamba for the same price you could get a.
I don't know. I've never even looked at them.
Anybody on got a Mamba?
Yeah,
right.
I haven't been in one, so I can't pass.
I've had several guides that come in that have made the switch and that are fixing to make the switch.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's weird, right?
Where do they make it? Here in Corpus, or?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't want to say the name of it because I don't want to get it wrong. Mm-hmm. But I believe they're made here in Corpus. I think I read a post earlier today that they've sold or are detaching themselves to be strictly Mamba now.
Huh.
Or something like that.
Interesting.
I could be wrong.
I'm a
kayaker, man.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, my deal is, a boat is something that I use to get to my location to get out and wade.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, as long as
you don't need radio.
I don't need a wet sound system. I mean, I just need it to run.
You don't even need AC in it.
And not kill me. Well, it's 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 top down, right? But it's just one of those things. It's, again, I think it's personal preference.
Yeah.
Like, what reel do you like? What rod do you like? I think it comes down to personal preference and how well they're built. And all the boats that we just mentioned are all good boats. It's just what do you like?
Yeah, I don't need the hatches to close properly. I mean, I need them to close, but
I just need it to float.
Yeah,
and I need the motor
get
to run
me there.
and get me there.
And most of those guys
beat me to death either. I mean, that's kind of, I'm getting older now. I don't like getting beat to death. When I was younger, I didn't care. Now
I got a buddy of mine that spent about $150,000 just to
more than
get
my
him
first
there.
house, man.
Just to get him there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, my friends that don't wade fish, that are from out of state, that don't do a lot of wading, they're like, wait a minute, we're going to run 15 miles to get to a spot to fish, and we're getting out and we're going to be in the water all day. I'm like, yeah. They're like, it's like jumping out of a perfectly good airplane.
Yeah.
They're like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's just the way we do it here, man.
Yeah.
I
mean, why? Because you scare some of the fish, right?
Man, I think wading, well, one thing,
stealthy.
Wading is something that I can park on a spot waiting, and it's hard to park on a spot, and boat noise and all that for big trout. Redfish, they don't care.
Yeah.
I don't think reds care. And sometimes I don't think big trout care, because I've seen some big trout caught out of a boat. I've seen my dad do it, drifting in the lower Laguna with my dad. And, I've seen him catch some big trout. I've caught some good trout out of the boat, but most of my biggest trout that I've caught in my life have all been waiting.
Oh, wow.
And just because I can sit there and park on a spot, and if you know they're there and you're getting a good bite, you can just anchor in and be quiet and just sit there and just beat a spot to death.
Right.
Waiting. And especially here in this part of the coast, or really all the Texas coast for the most part. Growing up, I didn't have a boat. We didn't have a boat till I was like, I don't know. I was like 13, 14 by the time my dad finally got a boat. It was an 18-foot aluminum boat.
Yeah. Lavernia.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You're from Lavernia.
No, I'm not from Lavernia.
Where are you from?
I'm not going to tell you.
Oh. Oh, yeah. Well. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. We won't tell them.
Yeah.
It'll just be a secret.
Yeah, it'll be a secret.
Okay.
Until the end, and we'll
figure it out.
If people answer it right, then maybe we give them something. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have before we move on, Ernest Abrego has a comment. Okay. Ram, before you get deep into the show, shout out to the last guest with R&K Outfitters. Hell of a guest they were. They provided a free Baffin trip. Richard Thompson. Mm-hmm. What kind of boat is Richard? He's in a SCB, I think. Bad to the bone boat.
Oh yeah, they're next level.
Outfitters for giving away that sweet trip to Baffin, right? It was I forget the guy's name that won. We'll be headed out here in August. We've already got a date set. We're going to be cruising all the way to Baffin in this SCB. I think there's going to be a lot of Karbach involved. The alcoholic kind, I'm sure. I don't know, man. This non-alcoholics, I like it.
Yeah.
Right?
Like I said, you don't fight the cops after you drink.
Yeah, you don't even have anything to worry about.
Yeah.
Right?
Not at all. Just refreshing.
Your upcoming guests have some big shoes to fill. I agree. I agree.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, there you go.
Literally big shoes. Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm just a guy.
But we're not going to tell them where you're actually from. And we're going to be giving away something.
If they guess it, then we give it away to them.
Yeah. If you can guess where he's actually from, not yet. Don't start bombarding the flow of comments. But when we give the green light, jump on Google, right? Jump on Google. Go do some research. When we give the green light, we're going to give something away. Spooled Life swagger packer. It might even have some Feral Concept stuff in there.
Maybe so.
Right?
I think it should.
Yeah. Man, so Lavernia.
Yeah.
What in the heck made you move to Lavernia? From wherever you were from?
I was living, I've lived all over. I was actually up in Fort Worth for a couple of years.
Is there any water in Lavernia?
No. Well, like Calaveras Lake.
Okay.
Right there. But I mean, I don't.
So you're near San Antonio.
Yeah, very very
Okay,
close.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so,
close enough.
yeah, it's South Texas, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I like Lavernia. It's quiet. You can still get a fairly, you can get a little bit of land and a house that doesn't cost a lot. We were looking like up in New Braunfels and places like that, which is a great place. But man, I mean, for what I could get out that side, going towards Victoria, that area, going down to
Right.
87 there. It's just, and it's pretty. People are nice. It's a little bit slower pace.
Yeah.
From living in the city, and I lived in San Antonio for years, and just the traffic and hearing airplanes fly over all the time and all that. I was like, I did not want to.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to. And people that live in the country know this. You got to plan your route a little bit better.
Right.
Like you just don't pop in to go get a cup of coffee or pop in to go to the grocery store, because that's 8 to 10 miles away.
Right.
I can go to Lavernia or I can go to Floresville, which is, pretty close.
Yeah.
And, but it's like anything else, man. You just deal with it and plan your route.
San Antonio and Houston is the worst place to live.
Man, again, it's like if that's your jam.
Yeah, some people like that.
Knock it out, man. Yeah, I'm like, if that's your jam, and a lot of people, they have to live there because they work there.
Yeah,
like their job's there and they have to go to work.
Yeah,
that's where the job is.
Yeah.
And I get it.
Right.
But yeah, it's just not for me.
No, me neither.
It's not my thing.
Rude people, man.
Sometimes, yeah.
Who was that? There was a singer. There was a singer that got pissed off at all them San Antonio people.
Oh man, I don't know.
I forget who he was.
Charles Barkley's the one that everybody hates in San Antonio.
Yeah, that one. And this guy is he was the brother to the Tejano star from Corpus Christi. She has a statue downtown. I don't want to mention no names, right?
Oh, I don't know, man.
I don't know. Himself.
I haven't watched the news in like the last 4 years.
Yeah.
So I just.
Yeah, I'm not going to mention no names.
The world could be on fire.
But she has a statue downtown Corpus Christi.
Oh yeah, that girl.
Yeah. And the brother was so upset at San Antonio that
just everybody from San Antonio is just persona non grata now. Oh, okay, hey, whatever, man.
And he's just pissed off at everybody.
Whatever, dude.
Right.
Whatever.
Hey, if you have the platform, man.
Yeah.
Hey, just say it the way it is.
I guess.
I would have said the same thing.
Yeah.
It depends. Depends the hour. If you hit that traffic 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, he'd probably be anybody probably be mad.
Yeah, everybody would hate San Antonio.
You know what I mean?
From about 3:30 to 7, you're gonna hate any major city.
Yeah.
During that time. Yeah.
You give me a lazy river, you give me a case of Karbach, you give me some music with an accordion in it. And I'm having a good time, dude. That's all I need, man. I won't be pissed off at anybody. Unless you pee in the pool or something like that, right?
Well, like if you see somebody peeing in the pool, because everybody's doing it. It was something about seeing somebody doing it. You're like, that doesn't look like that doesn't look natural.
Don't do it and then start moving the water.
Yeah, or just do it right next to me. That'd be weird.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but, go underwater or
yeah, or use the bathroom. There's a novel idea. Use the restroom. But hey, whatever.
Yeah,
that's your thing, man.
Yeah, we're gonna be cruising out there to San Antonio. We'll be out there tomorrow. We're gonna be celebrating Monica Feely's birthday. She's around 25 or 30, around there. We'll be at the JW Marriott, just chilling, and
it's a good time.
And I'll be in the lazy river, all day, just cruising around. Nothing
shoving kids out of the way.
Spectacular. Yeah. Just
right on.
Keeping an eye on mine, just to make sure. It's a big deal, man.
Yeah.
A lot of, you got to respect the water, right? Man, so Corpus Christi to Lavernia.
Yeah.
Why? Work? Was it work or something? Or
no, I mean, no, I was in Fort Worth. I wasn't in Corpus.
Okay.
I was in Fort Worth, and for only a couple of years.
Yeah. I didn't say it.
But I was down here. Like I said, I lived in San Antonio before, and I was like, I want to get back down there. My mom lives in San Antonio.
Okay.
And my children are there, and they're grown, but they're in San Antonio, and I'm like, I just want to be a little closer.
Right.
And my wife's girls are going to University of Texas, so I'm like, hey, we're closer. Here, I can be near them.
Yeah.
And it's closer to everything that I like to do. I love to hunt and fish, and
because you're down here pretty often.
I'm down here as much as I can get down here.
Right.
Yeah. And now that I think the surf's going to be right this year.
Okay.
Last year we had that cold water kind of thing going, and the surf fishing wasn't spectacular during the summer. I'm really hoping the surf
The tides
turns
have
on.
been really high.
God, I heard it was up to the dunes.
Where the heck is all the water coming from?
Is
it the moon?
Do
we blame that kind of stuff on the
during
moon?
that was during the full moon. We had that big moon, and yeah, I think was part of it.
Right.
But yeah, it was all the way up to the dunes. I talked to a friend of mine, and he goes, "Yeah, I was thinking about going." And he said he turned onto the beach and was like, "Dude, it's up to the dunes right now."
Yeah.
And it was when I was in Baffin, because I called him and said, "Hey, what are you doing?" He's like, "I'm going to go run the beach." And he called me not too long after that and was like, "Yeah, that's not going to work, because it is way up." And he goes, and the water's all
everywhere.
trashed, but
everywhere the water's high.
But when that water gets out, and you can see
like high water,
the green, you can see the green holes and all that. That's when I like hitting it on the beach. I don't know. I'm just if I don't have to go past my knees. I'm not one of those. I used to wait out to like the third bar and fight it, and sharks taking your stringers and stuff like that. And I'm just like, man, if I can just run the beach and see fish and sight cast to them, that seems like a lot more.
Because you're not only a fisherman,
no,
right? You're an outdoorsman.
I am. I'm an enthusiast. I don't claim to be an expert in any of it.
Right.
I love to bird hunt. I've got a Labrador Retriever that takes me duck hunting every year. Instead of me taking him hunting, he takes me hunting, because I pretty much hunt for him. So he can fetch and work.
He likes it.
He loves it. I mean, that's what he's born to do, literally. And so I love to bird hunt, dove hunt, duck hunt, and I do bow hunt.
Okay.
I usually try to get a couple of deer in the freezer every year.
Oh yeah.
I've been out to New Mexico and shot an elk with my bow.
What about nilgai?
I've hunted nilgai and taken them with a rifle. I've never killed one with a bow, and that's kind of my next quest.
How did you feed this thing?
No.
Like, did you bait him in?
No. That's one thing about nilgai is they will. I personally have only seen them come to bait once, and it was during the drought, and they were eating alfalfa that was put out. But other than that, nilgai is pretty much a lot of guys get on the high racks and drive around and see the distance and shoot them. But my thing is, I want to do like a spot and stalk with my bow, or get on a water hole and wait for one to come in with my bow and shoot him proper. It's not about killing one anymore.
Right.
I mean,
they do taste damn good.
Oh, they are amazing and amazing to eat, and I love the meat. So I'd be happy, if it's just for the meat. I would like to shoot a big bull, of course, but if a nilgai cow came in and gave me the shot, man, I'm taking it, because they're so good to eat.
What do you like more, fishing or hunting?
Man, that's a hard one.
Before I get into
it depends on the time of the year.
Right, that's true.
Yeah, it depends on the time of the year, but I mean, I love it all. I really do. I love it all.
Like right now, it's fishing.
Right now, obviously, it's fishing.
Cooler water.
In the springtime, I really love to turkey hunt, because I like calling birds and working birds. And
you ever been turkey hunting and a rattlesnake rolls up on you?
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's. I'm always watching for that. Yeah, I've had that happen more than once.
Yeah.
But it's turkey hunting's probably my real addiction. That and catching big trout is like, if I had to give it all away, like, you can't do this anymore. These are the two things you have to do. You got the choice of two. It'd be like, okay, I want to go catch big trout and turkey hunt the rest of my life.
You know what is weird is that you see snake guards, but is there a shirt that has snake guard sleeves?
Not that I would want to wear,
because you're sitting on the ground.
Yeah, I've got a little chair that I sit on that gets me elevated a little bit.
Yeah.
But there are sometimes, we're rolling without those, and we're just running and gunning, and because I don't shoot them over bait or anything like that. But I like just going out and trying to call them in and work birds in. And there's been a couple of times we've gone to, I always tell people when I'm taking them out, I say, hey, before you go and sit down, especially if we're moving real fast, and you've got a bird working, he's coming. Like, hey, we got to get sat down right now because he's coming. I'm like, before you sit down, just take a good look.
Just in case.
Don't just blindly sit down and.
Oh, dude, that'd be horrible.
Yeah, it's always in the back of my mind. It's always there.
Right.
But it just gotta,
I don't know anybody that has gotten hit by a rattlesnake, but dude, especially if you're out hunting, you're already deep into no man's land.
Yeah.
You know, you especially if panic is going to set in right off the bat.
That's the main thing is,
Keep calm.
you keep calm and just as soon as somebody, it's same with the stingray hit,
Oh, yeah.
I've had people get hit with stingrays and I'm just like, hey, trip's over.
Yeah.
The trip.
There's no comparison. A stingray trip
Yeah.
from a rattlesnake trip.
Yeah.
I mean, a bite.
Yeah. Rattlesnake bite. Yeah. It's your trip's over.
Oh, dude. I was fishing with a buddy of mine, Chris Beardsley. I don't know where the heck we were. Aransas somewhere. We seen a guy fly in, dude, and his boy had gotten hit, but from a stingray.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, I mean, I'm probably gonna get some heartburn for this, but I'm not a real good trailer backer upper, right?
You're a kayak
Especially
guy.
when
Why
there's
would you be?
people around.
Yeah.
And these guys are trying to get their boats back up there. This guy was on point.
Yeah.
And he flew to his truck, got the keys, took the boy to the hospital where
Oh yeah. I mean, it's one of those, it's a trip ender. I mean, I had a buddy of mine get hit and he tried to walk it off and about, we did the whole hot water thing and all that, trying to, get him, get that bite under hot water. I don't know about that. That'd be a little weird. I mean, people pay for that in Las Vegas, but not here.
I think it's the ammonia.
Yeah. I don't know, but they say to put hot water or meat tenderizer to try to pull it out.
Or maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Hot pee.
Yeah. It might be so, but yeah, still, I'm not gonna let anybody do that. No. I was like, no, just please don't
bad idea.
Don't pee on me. But it's but he got hit and I mean 5 minutes later he was just as white as that sheet of paper and he was like,
but you can't die from a stingray bite.
Well, you can get an
Is
infection. You can get an infection. Well, sometimes they break off that thing.
But it's a sting.
Yeah.
Not a bite.
Yeah, they've got that. It's the stuff that's on their stinger, on their barb.
Yeah.
Sometimes those barbs get broken off and you can get.
Yeah, I guess you could get an infection, but it's
get a real, like that happened to Mike McBride down in the Lower Laguna. I mean,
but the infection is over time.
Yeah.
Not instant.
Yeah.
You get hit by a rattlesnake and you don't make it to the hospital.
Yeah, that depends where they hit you. Yeah, I mean it's going to
die.
It's going to cause a lot of damage. Yeah,
dude.
Yeah,
makes me want to never go hunting ever again.
Yeah, you just got to be, just got to be ready to deal with them.
Perception of the outdoorsman.
That's pretty broad, but I mean perception of most outdoorsmen. I think most outdoorsmen, and let's use the 80% rule. 80% of people. All right, there's always going to be your outliers. But at the top of the curve, I think most of your outdoorsmen out there want to do the right thing for the resource. They want to go out and enjoy it like anybody else does, right?
Right.
They just want to get out. I want to go catch a few fish. I want to go bird hunting.
It's expensive.
It is, and it's getting more expensive. And that's one thing I love about Corpus is there's so many. You don't have to have a lot of money to fish in Corpus.
Right.
You don't. You can walk out to the jetties. You can
T-heads.
You can go to the I mean, you can go anywhere and fish. If you just want to go out and fish, Corpus is a great place to do that. There's a lot of opportunities. A lot of places just to walk in. You got the beach. There are places you can get in and wade. Wade a shoreline like in the Oso. Go back into Nighthawk. Some of those places like that. Corpus is
you just pull over on the side of the road and jump in the water.
There's a lot of places around here that you can do that. And that's one cool
some
thing
of those are damn good spots too.
They are they're excellent spots. I mean, they get a lot of pressure, but yeah, some of them are really good. But I think the average outdoorsman out there just wants to go out and have a good time.
Yeah.
I don't mind for something that I really like to do. It's like anything else. Like guys I know that are really into cars, they spend, of course, cars are expensive, but if it's collecting stamps or whatever it is, people that are into it, that's their thing. Hunting and fishing is my thing. I don't play golf. I don't do any of that. And I think it's a great sport, but I'm just like, that's not my thing. Hunting and fishing is my thing.
Yeah. I like golf.
And people are like, how do you spend $400 on a rod or $200 on a reel? I'm like, well, that's what I do.
Yeah.
And I find out what they do. I'm like, well, you spent $300 on a driver for golf. I mean, it's the same.
It's metal.
It's
a metal stick.
Yeah, a metal stick made with to hit a little ball.
Yeah.
I was like, but that's your thing.
Yeah. You only got to buy it once.
Well, maybe. And then some guys like, I don't like that one, so they're always going through them. It's kind of like I've seen some guys like that with bows and with with fishing equipment. Like, you walk into the garage and like, dude, it's like walking into Roy's.
Oh yeah.
It's like, dude, you got one of everything. Yeah, I tried that rod for a while and I got into this and I like this rod now. And
well, there's always something better coming out.
Sure, that's marketing.
You know what I mean?
That's called marketing.
Yeah, you want these guys to come back and buy something else, right?
Absolutely.
It's never going to be the best.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I like golf.
Yeah, golf's a good game.
I got some clubs that are 20 years old. I'm not going to go buy a new set.
No, why? That's not your thing.
Yeah.
Fishing's your thing.
Yeah, I don't even like playing golf. I just like golf, right? I like to go. I like to drink beer.
Yeah.
With my buddies.
Yeah.
I like to make fun of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if they miss the ball, I'm going to make fun of them. If I miss the ball, I'm going to get pissed off if they're making fun of me.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to be like, you know what? Take me to my truck. I don't want to play no more. I'm just kidding. Right. I haven't done it in years. It's like riding a bike, golf.
Yeah.
Perception on the media side.
Okay.
When we see media, I've had a couple comments on posts that come back towards me that are negative. I mean, they get deleted, right? Of course. I might tell them something back real quick, and then I delete them. That way they can't say anything back to me. But like they get mad for catching fish and a post on a stringer. Right now, the biggest thing you could do that would piss a bunch of people off is kill trout.
Yeah.
And trout on the stringer, and you're going to get some sort of bad comment.
I think it's just the perception that, because I'm one of those guys that I'm for the trout regulations because I know what it used to be like. But here's the other thing. I've had people come at me. It's like, well, you're just for catch and release. I'm like, that's not true.
Right.
That's not true at all. I'm all about you wanting to keep trout.
You like fish.
I love fish.
To eat.
I love to eat fish.
With tartar sauce.
Whatever. Or trout almondine,
What is that?
Adam, the guy that was just in here?
Yeah.
Dude, that guy is an amazing chef.
I saw his shirt.
Amazing chef. And he can cook fish like
18... He needs to whip us up something.
Dude.
And we'll be eating it on the show.
Yeah, dude. He can throw down on the chow. And seriously. And he he's effortlessly cook stuff. But I'm all about
what
it's all about balance.
Does he work at?
Oh God, he just got there. It's up in Rockport.
I remember seeing it on the show. Yeah, I mean on his shirt.
If he's watching, he might comment.
Yeah, commented on the show wherever you work at.
He's
and guess what?
Amazing.
Since you commented, and we're not going to delete the comment, now you owe us.
Yeah, that's right.
You owe us a plate
sponsorship fee.
I like it fried.
Yeah, I do too. Like I roll mine in Rice Krispies. I Rice Krispies and just pan fry it. If I'm cooking trout, but my whole thing with trout is I like eating them fresh. I don't like freezing. Redfish I'll freeze. If I go out and catch a limit of redfish or whatever for half shelling later, I'll freeze those. But trout, I just don't think they freeze well personally.
Right.
And I'm all for people keeping fish, but I've just seen, here, case in point, my 76-year-old mother, who has been fishing with me since, me and my dad would go out. She would go out with us in the summers, get in the boat and we go out, and we were down in the lower Laguna and we had a pretty good day. I mean, she's a fisherman, she'll wade and she'll do all that stuff. And she's like, do you remember when we used to fish, such and such place? And if we didn't catch a trout over 26 inches, it was just like not a very good day. Yeah, I remember those days. And I see that coming back a little.
What year was this?
It's like 82.
Oh, wow. That's the year I was born.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, 82, right before the freeze in 83.
Okay.
I remember those days going out and it's just like.
Man, how old are you?
I'll be 54 in September.
Hey, you look amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I can only hope.
Yeah.
To be a quarter.
Yeah. Well, I drink other people's blood, when my gets full. So I'm kidding. No, I appreciate that. But just going back to the whole trout thing, it's just I've just seen what it can really be like. And of course, back then, and I'm guilty of it, stone cold guilty of it. 20 trout on a stringer when the limit was 20. and then it went to 15, and then it went to 10. And of course, we have more people using the resource now. More people have boats.
I vaguely remember the 15.
Yeah, and then it went to 10.
Age. Yeah, but I for sure remember the 10.
And then Keep 5 was what, early 2000s.
Yeah,
went to 5,
and now we're 3.
and and it's just like, and I think 3. I don't know, man. If I want to trust the people at Parks and Wildlife and all the research guys and the biologists. I want to trust them. I really do. And if the science, I always said, if the science supports it, then I'll support it, as long as it's not influenced by anybody.
Has there been an ever state to say, you know what, we're going to give you more fish?
I don't know.
It's always been taken away.
It's always been taken away. But here's my thing. Like up in North Carolina right now, they just said no more recreational harvest of flounder across the board. But the commercial side can still take them, and people are like, hold on.
Yeah,
they can harvest them, but we can't. There's something wrong with that.
That's worse.
That's yeah. I mean, I was like, I don't see how recreational anglers could do that kind of damage. I just, and that's there's people who want to fight you out in the parking lot for stuff like that. And if somebody's taking a picture, with a stringer of trout, I'm like, hey, good for you. Good for you. You caught a limited trout. Do what you want to do, man. But look,
that's a stringer of trout, and you have no idea how many they threw back.
Exactly. And the other thing is, I don't post stringer pics. Not that I'm against them. I don't post stringer pics because I think it promotes the meat haul mentality.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't post them
right off the bat.
But I am the first guy to like, hey, and it's like, it's a day-to-day thing. Some days I go out and, like my buddy Mickey at Truchador, he's gotten some heartburn over posting stringer pics.
Oh yeah.
And I give him a hard time about it. But at the end of the day, I've seen that guy throw back more trout than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, big trout, small trout, whatever. He's like, I don't want to keep you today.
Yeah.
But he's like, oh yeah, Mama wants some fish for the table tonight.
Yeah.
He's going to string some up.
Right.
And that's our resource. It's our resource to do with what we want to. So we need to, as a community, I think, is just, if you're going to keep fish, keep fish. But there's some days, like, I think some people are programmed to, like, it's a results-based thing. It's like, I go fishing because I enjoy it.
It's a place called Gabrielas.
Yes.
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Adam Gonzalez.
Yeah. Gabrielas. And
is that who was in here? Adam Gonzalez?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
That's him.
Yeah, Adam. Hey, reach out, Adam. We're going to get a plate. Go
Love you, buddy.
Here.
But
we're going to be eating good the next show.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Y'all cruise out to Gabrielas.
Yeah.
In Rockport.
Yeah, man. It's if Adam's cooking, it's going to be good. I guarantee you that. But, going back to the whole stringer thing and keeping fish and all that, I think some people are programmed like, I have to put fish in the cooler.
Yeah.
And I remember
it's expensive now.
Well, I've talked to guys before, like, hey, do y'all want to keep fish today? And they're like, nah, we're just fishing and we're getting the truck and driving home, or whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's the last thing they want to do is
I don't want to mess with fish and all that. But every now and then people are like, yeah, I want to keep a few. I'm like, all right. I said, well, let's go catch some black drum.
Oh yeah.
Get some dead shrimp on a jig head and go get into there, and it's fun.
Yeah, we don't care about the black drum.
Yeah, it's the saltwater javelina, baby.
So if you have a tank, right, we're gonna put 2 tanks here, and we got one with a redfish and one with a speckled trout.
Right.
Which one is going to be the harder one to catch, or are they both equal?
I think the trout's going to be harder to catch.
Right.
Especially big trout. I've seen them, sight casting to them and stuff. I've seen them eat flies. I've caught them on fly, and I've just flat out seen them sit there and work on a fish for a while before you spook her. She just gets tired of messing with you.
Yeah.
Redfish, I've seen them refuse all the time.
Right.
But more times than not, if they're cruising and you put it in front of them, they're going to eat it.
So it's still safe to say that the trout limits it's okay to reduce the trout limits.
I think,
even though it's just might be harder to catch
as
them.
long as like I said, as long as the science supports it, I'm for it, because there's just more people using the research.
Coming up with this science.
Well, there's a lot of different ways that they do it.
Parks and Wildlife?
And Parks and Wildlife, Heart Research, and those are some guys you might want to get on here and talk to them about, because they can go down the rabbit hole.
Get too nervous.
Well, just
Like, I'm
ask the
okay
questions.
saying all this stuff behind
Yeah,
the keyboard.
just get it, put some plexiglass here so y'all don't hit each other, whatever. No, but I mean, those guys, like Dr. Stunts, Greg Stunts, that's at the Heart Research. He's a very well spoken guy, and he's a fisherman. He's a fisherman. These aren't just guys that are working in an office and they don't fish. I mean, they fish.
Because there was only how many was it that went to Austin? I think the K Wiggler guys, some of them were up there.
I think Wayne went up there.
There was like 10, max 15 guys that went up there to argue this case.
Yeah.
Are those 10 to 15 guys gonna go back out there and say, guess what? Let's give them back their 5. If nobody was there to be against this.
Well, there were, and they had a scoping meeting here in Corpus. It was at CCA&M, and it was probably 5 or 6 months before that decision was made.
Yeah, I remember that.
The scoping meeting. And there was plenty of people in there that were like, this is that.
But none of them went to Austin.
But none of them went, and the other thing was, again, when Parks and Wildlife put the data up there, like, show me the data, and the data shows over time, after the freeze event, you have a red tide, you have a freeze event, you've got some bays that they're losing their grass, that kind of thing. It's just, and they've showed the steady decline, and they do gill net surveys. And like I said, there's people that do this for a living can answer those questions a lot better than I can.
I wonder how many fish they kill gill netting.
I don't know.
Guys, don't get mad at me.
Got to break eggs to make an omelet, man.
I'm just the angler here, right? These guys do it for a living.
Sure.
Obviously, they could pass the TOS test, dude.
But
in a heartbeat. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. But there's a lot of guys I know, several guides that I know that are like, we're not going to keep fish.
Oh yeah.
And
I've had several of them here.
If you want to go out and
that
catch
make that
fish,
transition.
are you selling fish or a fishing trip? They sell fishing trips. Like, we're going to go catch fish. We're just not going to put it in the cooler.
Yeah.
You cool with that? Most people, I'd say 80 to 90% of the people are like, yeah. Like, now I want to keep some fish, and then I've got the guide I'm going to put you with that goes out and does that.
Yeah.
Have a great day. No, like, screw you.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into that tribal, like, well, because people go high and to the right on me, like, well, you're just catch and release. I've had a few people come at me like that. I'm like, no, I'm not, man. I said, I keep fish, more times than I just don't make a big deal about it because I'm keeping small trout.
Yeah.
I mean, holding up a stringer of, 18-inch trout, it's like, okay, great. You caught a few trout today.
Right.
Awesome. Go eat them.
There's different guides.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you see the guide that has 30 drum on the table.
Yeah.
And then you see the guide that has a 30-something inch trout.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're in the market to go on a trip, instead of going to the yellow pages, you're going to go to social media, right?
Sure.
You're going to look up the
you want to, and
big guides, and depending on what you want to catch.
It's again, like, Sally Black.
Yeah.
I'm good friends with Sally, and she has a saying. She goes, "There is a client for every guide and a guide for every client."
Yeah.
And she's spot on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, you go with who you're gonna, like if I want to go target black drum or just go catch, I just want to go and just slam redfish and put them in the cooler.
Yeah.
There's guides out there that, you know who to call, be like, hey, this is the guy to go with, because I just want to go out and put fish in the cooler.
Is there any meat hog guides in Baffin?
Man, I don't know. I'm sure there are.
Right.
I just don't pay attention to that stuff. I'm like, I
haven't seen it.
I'm kind of big on getting in my lane and staying there.
Yeah.
If you want to do that, I don't agree with it, but I don't hate you either.
Yeah.
If
you roll up to the launch, right, and you see a guide roll up and he starts emptying out all this trout, are you the guy that's like, man, dude, why don't you let some of them trout go?
No, because if he's not breaking the law, I really don't have anything to say to him.
Yeah.
If I see him doing it, if I see him do it every day, I'm like, hey, bro.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, hey, man, we're not necessarily we're not out of the woods yet on this deal.
Right.
I think it's going to get better. I'm already seeing it with the big fish.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've caught more and I've seen more big fish caught since January than I've seen in the last 5 years. Like we got into me and my friend Adam Higgins. He has Coastal Swim Baits.
Okay, yeah.
Paints all the the custom lures and stuff. And him and several other guys.
Is that Larry Higgins' brother?
No,
no,
they're not. They're not related. But we were fishing in January in Mansfield, and we just had one of those days that I wrote it down. I mean, I wrote the story down because we were fishing at night under the moon waiting. And at 2:30 in the morning, I was actually asleep in the boat. They were out there, beating the water to death. I'm like, dude, we're not catching anything. I'm going to take me a quick nap.
Yeah.
Because I was tired. Got up in the boat, slept for about 30 minutes, got up and I looked out and I saw them. They looked about that big out there in the moon. I called them. I was like, y'all catching fish? He goes, we just started catching them. I'm like, all right. He goes, just get out of the boat and work your way towards us slowly. They're here. And
what was it?
All trout.
Okay.
Big trout. I don't think we caught anything under 24 inches that night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was stupid. We caught a couple of, upper end 28s.
That's kind of spooky though. In the middle of the night, like you start to hear shit.
I love it.
And then you know what I mean?
Well, it's great because you can hear a trout just just hitting stuff. You're like, kind of look over.
Yeah.
And we were shallow enough, and it's in wintertime, so I'm not worried about sharks. Like I would not wade that close to the Mansfield Cut this time of the year.
Oh,
no way in hell at night.
You think you'll get hit by a shark?
I just don't want to open the door for them.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't want to put myself out there. It'd be like getting in the surf at night. There's plenty of sharks in the surf during the daytime.
Yeah.
But at night, it seems like that's when they're really active, especially under a full moon.
It's like a real bad Jaws episode.
Yeah, it's just like, man gets eaten by a shark standing in surf at 2:00 in the morning, and people are going to go like, well, he had that coming.
In the top water.
Yeah. Put yourself in the food chain, and that's what's going to happen. Right. But it's we had an amazing day. Fishing it at night. And it was I kind of forgot where we're going with this, but it's
So the dude that caught the tagged redfish.
Mm-hmm. Oh man.
CCA. We talked about it earlier.
Yeah.
CCA tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Catch a tagged redfish. I don't know. It's changed already so many times. I really don't know what they're giving away anymore, but they're definitely giving away a truck, trailer, and boat.
Yep.
If you catch a certain color of tag.
Okay.
I'm not sure if this tag was that one or not, but he definitely caught one and was not entered.
That happens to so many people.
What would you do?
Nothing you can do, man.
Would you release it?
Yeah, I would.
Would you?
Be like, yeah, well, screwed up.
I'd mount it. I'd mount it or eat it. One of the two.
Yeah. I'd let it go, let somebody give somebody else a chance.
Yeah. That's a hell of a story, man, to be on the wall.
Yeah.
I guess you could get a replica.
But part of the thing, I think part of getting the prize is you have to clip the tag and show that you're letting the fish go to get in order to be there. And you can't cheat that. But
it was a guy named Dom Lopez.
Dom Lopez.
Guide out of Corpus. Yeah. And that's how he got, I want to say, his first boat or something.
No kidding.
Yeah, dude, he was with his grandpa. Crazy story. We're fixing to have him here in a couple of weeks, months. I'll wait till he tells it to us. But he won the grand prize. Dude.
Wow, that would be so cool.
I don't think he got the truck. I think he just got the boat and the trailer.
Yeah, I think like the first few that get it or whatever win the truck and the trailer or whatever, the truck, boat, and trailer.
I've never entered.
I have. Because that would be my luck.
Yeah.
Is to be like, I'm not entering, and I reel up a tagged fish.
Yeah. I've never entered, but I've been there and seen them releasing the fish.
Mm-hmm.
And I still don't enter. Ain't that crazy?
You need to, man.
What a dummy, right?
You can win, you could win a new boat and a truck, man.
Feral Concepts.
Okay.
Amazing stuff.
Thank you.
Here at Roy's Bait and Tackle.
Here at Roy's, absolutely.
Right? What goes through your head when you say, you know what? Let's do this.
When I started it, I'd always wanted to repair stuff that was broken, like gear.
Okay.
And it started kind of, I was in the military, and in the very beginnings of our, the war on terror, 2003, we went and invaded Iraq and did all that. And we we were woefully inequipped.
You were in the military.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Yeah, I was in the Marine Corps, and we needed gear modified. And I remember being on ship out in the middle of the ocean, and we're like, we need this for our gear. And we went down to where the guy sewing stuff is, sewing in the paraloft that was repairing parachutes and does all kind of stuff on ship, sewing canvas. We're like, hey man, can you make us this? And I watched him do it. I said, man, that's pretty cool. That guy can just gave him an idea, drew it out, and he's like, yeah, I can do that. Like, that's pretty cool. And he made us like stuff to drop our magazines or grenades in. Like this, just looked like a big water bottle carrier that was just like a big bag, open top bag. And it's like, that's kind of cool. So when I got back, it was years later, and one day I was just like, I've got the money. I'm going to buy a really good sewing machine, an industrial machine, and just start playing around and modifying my own gear, because and like I told you earlier, I'm in competition with other people, but I'm not their enemies, and I will not badmouth other people's stuff, because like we've talked about with boats and everything else, whatever your flavor is that you like, you might like vanilla and I like chocolate, then go forth and prosper, And I was like, but I wanted to modify some gear, and I had some gear that was broken. So I started fixing that, and then I had a couple of friends go, hey man, can you fix this, or can you make me this? You've got a sewing machine. It's kind of like having a pickup truck when people are moving. You're like, hey, you got a truck, right? I'm like, oh no, I don't.
Right.
But yeah, I was like, yeah,
you got a boat? Let's go fishing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so it's like, can you think you can make this for me? And I'm like, sure. I think I can. And of course, my sewing in the early days it's still not great, but it's pretty ghetto when I started. I mean, it was bad. I mean, it was like the Lighthouse for the Blind does better than I do.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was terrible. So I just got better at it as with anything else.
You're the only one.
Me? No, I have people helping me sew now.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to, or I wouldn't sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got professionals that have sewing, cut and sew operations that I'll make a prototype and I'll test it, and I'll make the modifications and all that to it, and then I'll take them to them and said, I need 300 of these. And they're like, okay, and they can get them shucked out like that, because they've got all the laser.
That's just what they do.
That's what they get paid to do, and they make my stuff and a lot of other people's stuff. But I take them the prototype, and that's mine. And they cut the pattern, and we get after it. But that's how it kind of started. And my friend.
So this stuff is tested.
Oh yeah, my friend Justin Broadnax, who owns La Pesca Lodge down in Baffin.
Okay.
Him, Sally Black, they were like, man, we need something that we can, I could put my pliers in, this, that, and the other. The whole waiter box on a sling thing has been around for a long time.
Right.
I mean, I remember when I was a kid, taking a tackle box and using a piece of seatbelt material. Using seatbelt material, or drilling a hole in a box and putting a rope in there and tying a knot on the other end so it wouldn't come out, and just sleeping that around me.
Yeah.
Of course, you couldn't carry anything on it.
Right.
And so I did that, and I gave it to him to test, and Storm can break anything. So I know if it survives him and some other guides that I know, Chris Munoz, Christian Schrader, Kyle Johnson in Mississippi. I send him a lot of stuff to test, because he's out all the time wade fishing chandelier. Right. And other friends of mine that I know that are hardcore wade fishermen. Yeah. I say, go try this out and test it. And if they don't like it, I was like, you can tell me it sucks. Just tell me why.
Right.
Or just don't be like, oh, that ain't worth a damn. Throw it at my feet. I'm like, well, tell me why you don't like it. And they'll tell me, I'm like, okay, well, what if I did this, this, and this? And I'll make the modification. And they're like, yeah, I like that better. And they'll wear it for a while. Like, okay, what about this? And you finally get it dialed in. You can tweak something too much. Yeah. But you can get to where, like, I want it simple. That's the thing about my gear that I want to do. One, it's all made here in the United States. It's made here in Texas. My sewing shops are here in the state of Texas. That way I can get to them for quality control. Yeah. If there's any changes that need to get made, I want to be able to, I'll call them and say, hey, I'm coming in today. I'm just watching how things are going. Yeah. And like, yeah, we need to do this, this, and that. That, the QC is a lot better that way. And I'm supporting American jobs. I'm real big on that. So anyhow, my stuff coming from that military background, it's got to be able to last. I mean, it has to be able to get
Right.
really mistreated and still work. And like, the tote bags, the flat satchel, the waiter straps, all that stuff. I sew it out of, the best materials I can find, and I make them very durable. And that's kind of my thing. And I'm always trying new stuff. There's some stuff that I have made that'll never be in here because it's either costs too much to make.
Oh,
Some stuff's very complicated to make, and it's just like, man, I can't make that and make any money on that.
Because Farrell is not the only brand that you're involved with.
Right. We have another one called Amphibious Waterfowl.
Yeah.
And we've got a little chest rig, hunting chest rig that we do.
Waterproof, bad to the bone.
Yeah. Well, it's water resistant. It's double-sided Cordura. So, if you stick it underwater for a while, yeah, it's going to get wet, but it can get wet and stay wet and not get your shells wet.
Okay.
And
for duck hunting and stuff.
For duck hunting, and I also use it for turkey hunting to put my calls in and a couple extra shells and face mask and all that kind of stuff, because I just don't like carrying a lot of junk. And that's the other thing with Farrell is being minimalist, and that comes from fishing with my dad. Even though he had a lot of tackle on the boat and at the house, and all that kind of stuff, when we hit the water, I remember I was like, Dad, do I need an extra rod? He goes, you don't need an extra rod. And, we were walking in, 800 yards to get to the spot. We're going to be out there all day. And if something went down, that was a long walk back to the truck. He just didn't carry extra gear. But
one rod.
But he always carried good gear. That was another thing about my dad. And my dad was a school teacher. He's not like he was rolling in dough or anything. Mm-hmm. And he was like, hey, man, if you've got the money to spend money on good gear, then get the best gear that you can get, that you can afford. Don't just go buy something cheap, because if you buy cheap, it will fail.
Oh, yeah.
It will fail.
Right.
Without regard. So to that, he, kind of ingrained that in me, have good gear that lasts. And my other thing is I don't like dealing with returns. So I don't want people to buy stuff. I've got guys that are using some of the first wage straps that I put out, and they'll call and replace a box. Like the box will get broken or get cracked in or something. And I just send them a new box. And I do that with pretty much everybody. Like if you're using a box, hey man, my box is leaking, the way the boxes are built, you can just unclip the strap from it and just clip a new box in and keep rocking and rolling.
Clip and go.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's
the whole Farrell lineup is here at Roy's Bait and Tackle.
The entire Farrell lineup. And one thing we don't have here right now are tote bags.
Okay.
The big tote bags.
Is this one right here?
Yeah, that one behind you there.
Let's look at one.
Yeah, sure.
So this tote bag right off the bat is, if I could say one word, it'd be durable. Right.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't fold like your typical tote bag will fold on you.
Yeah. Not this one.
Like you sit this one down, and it's gonna stay open.
And here's why. It's got a rubber bottom, so it's got a foam rubber bottom.
Yeah.
And double-sided Cordura. It's got stiff ends, so it won't sag.
Right.
This one has pockets and everything in them. The new ones are going to be slick. I've had more requests for a slick, and they're going to be sewn where you can clip them together. Okay. So if you got stuff in here you don't want to fall out, clip it together. But yeah, I've got like my original one, man, I'm still rolling it after 4 years, and I made them for my dad.
Because they used to be green.
Yeah, they're green. Well, I'm going to have green, brown, and black now. On this
wow.
Okay. Yeah. So that's the,
they got the leather patch and everything. How much is one of these things?
These are going to retail for $110.
Okay. They're everything.
Bucks. Yeah.
I mean, you could put
dude,
anything you want.
I actually, and this is no lie, I used one as a drift anchor one time.
Oh, wow.
Because my dad didn't have his drift anchor on his boat.
Yeah.
I was like, said, Dad, where's your drift anchor? He's like, so we had a 5-gallon bucket on board, and we had one in my bag. So I dumped all my tackle, everything out of it, and completely dumped everything out, shoved it up in underneath the console, which is what that was made for, to go underneath the boat console so you can carry your tackle back and forth.
Right.
That's what I originally made them for my dad. And he was like, you think it's going to work? I'm like, I don't know. So we fashioned some rope through there and got it going. We had the 5-gallon bucket on the front and the bag there on the end, and it filled up full of water. And of course it was blowing like 20. So it slowed it down a little, but it slowed it down enough, dragging through the bottom all day with that bag back there. I was like, I've got, 20 more at the house. If it tears it up, it tears it up. But it was a durability test.
Right.
An extreme durability test, and it held up.
Yeah.
And still got that bag at home, and I use it all the time. And just wash it out with water, hang it up, let it dry, just like you would a cooler or anything else. If it's just taking care of your gear. And again, that's why I give stuff to guides. And you can go to any of those guys, Mick Lerma at Truchador, Storm, Sally, Kyle, Chris Bush at Speckled Truth. They've all got these bags, and they've bought them. I try to give them stuff. And they're like, no, we want to support you, and they buy them. And so it's not like I'm paying them to do it. One, they're my friends, so yeah, they're supporting me. But the other thing is, they know, and they use them to this day. Right. And some of them had them for the last 4 or 5 years.
The hot feral item that I see is the flats satchel.
Yeah. And I just gave yours to a guy here because I've completely boloed the order. And yeah, we'll talk about
You're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Whoever you are.
You will have one. There. You will have one in the mail.
You're welcome.
Today, I promise.
I'm just kidding. So what do we put in that thing?
The flat satchel?
Yeah. Tackle.
Well, it comes where you can put a small
tackle bin.
Yeah, you can put a small box in there.
Yeah.
Like I guess that's a
3400.
Yeah, 3400 type box. And I carry. It's got a pocket in the back for your cell phone.
Oh. You can put a pistol in there.
I wouldn't put a very big one in there.
Oh.
Yeah, but if you had to, you could, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. But it's made to open up.
Because you could take that hunting as well.
You could.
Duck hunting. Maybe put your shells in there.
No, because the bottoms are vented, so in case you do get wet, the water can drain. I made it for. I've tried the one size fits all on some things, and for that, it just couldn't. I have some guys. A buddy of mine keeps all of his knives in it.
Oh,
when he's cleaning deer and stuff, he'll just have them all right here, and he's whopping stuff out. And I've had a few guys use it for hunting, but if they want a hunting rig, then I send them to Amphibious, and they say get one of those. That's more of a hunting type chest rig. But for the flat satchel, the whole thing is keeping stuff in your workspace. What you call their workspace, and that comes from riding around in vehicles with a plate carrier on. And having your pistol and your mags and all your stuff where you could get to it in a vehicle. Yeah. You don't want to be I hate reaching behind me and doing all that kind of stuff. So I've got it where it'll just fold out in front of you, and that way you've got your box right there in front of you, and you can just go through all your stuff, close it back up, and it's right here and it's out of the way. I have had a few people that are like, "Hey, I love this thing, but can you make me a sling where I can just wear it like a sling?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can do that, no problem." Because some guys fish right up here, when they're working their bait. Yeah, they work it right up close to them. It's kind of in the way. It doesn't get in my way because I kind of work everything, down here low. Right. But it's personal preference.
If you get the flats satchel, do you need a weighting belt?
You don't have to, because you can attach your pliers.
That's what it's for, right?
Yeah.
The flat satchel is for weighting.
It's for weighting pretty
mostly.
Much. Yeah, and I've got guys using it in Pennsylvania that are catching freshwater trout, fishing for stripers on the beach. Oh yeah. I mean, I've got guys in New Jersey using it, New York, Maine. I've got people from all over the country using that thing now, or pretty much down the Atlantic all the way around the Gulf. I mean, all Florida, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, all that. I mean,
it'd be cool to have a post that says, "What are you using your flat satchel for?"
Yeah. I'd really like to get up to the Northeast and see these guys smashing this big striper. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So what? I know you said that you weren't. It's a weird thing. It's weird to say it because there's some sort of competition, right? I mean, obviously,
sure,
with the other brands. I mean, for everybody wants to succeed, and
competition's good.
You know what I mean? Yeah, for sure. What puts you, like, if I come into Roy's and I walk up the stairs, if I take a immediate right down the reel counter, and immediate left up the stairs, I run into the Feral Concepts. And I run into other people's weighting gear. Why yours?
It goes back to the flavor that you like.
Right.
But mine is, mine's made here in the United States. That's big to me. Some people don't care about that, but it's big to me.
That's big, man, especially right now.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of a big deal to me. My stuff is durable.
I'm going to open up another non-alcoholic.
I think I might have to do that as well, because I think I drained this one. Yeah, that was done.
I like these.
Oh, I got a note here that I got to go see Rocky. I'm in trouble.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
You're in trouble.
Yeah.
Better you than me.
Yeah. No kidding, right? Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers to Feral Concepts.
So, but as far as my gear over somebody else's, because I've had guys ask me that, and I look, my stuff's durable. It's a lifetime on my stuff. If it's a material defect, like if that bag or
loses the handle or something.
that comes unstitched,
Right.
anything like that, you're getting a new one. No questions asked. Like if you go out and it's covered in mold and, you set it next to a fire and it melted, that's on you.
Yeah.
But I've had one or two in the last, let's see, I started in 2019 and I've only had to replace I think it's like 2 or 3.
And it was
in that entire time. It was a stitching.
Okay.
A stitching issue.
Defect from the shop.
Or you missed it, or just whatever, know.
But it was guess what? I'm gonna send you another.
Yeah. It was like, no, I mean, it's just that's why like Sims and Orvis and some of these big companies that, they've got the depth to do that. They've got the pocketbook to do that.
Yeah.
But again, I've known some people that are hardcore, like that's all they'll use because of that reason. Like, I know if this messes up, then I'm going to get another one. I'm not going to get that, well, we'll get it to you in 6 months type thing.
Oh, yeah.
You're really good.
Call this number.
Yeah. Call this number, and go through this, 4-month process to get your stuff back. Like, hey, man, I paid money for that. I paid good money.
Because that's what I liked.
Yeah.
And I've been told I'm weird like that.
Yeah.
Right? I'll do a review.
Yeah.
And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to message you on Messenger.
Yeah.
And I'm going to see how I get a response.
Yeah.
And most of the time it's going to be a robot. It's going to be like, guess what? Thank you for contacting us.
And I'm terrible about Facebook Messenger. That's why I have my phone number and my email.
Yeah.
On my
I want to say when I messaged you, it was instant.
Yeah.
And I want to talk to somebody and I want to put the blame on somebody.
You hit me on Instagram. It's probably, unless you but if you text me or if you email me, because my email's on there, you don't have some kind of weird email where it's going to go to the, garbage
spam
bin,
or something,
spam. But my phone number and my email is on my website.
Yeah.
And if I guys call me like, hey man, my box is leaking. I'm like, what's your address?
Right.
And they give me the address. There'll be one there.
Don't even tell me what happened.
Yeah.
I got you.
I'm just like, if it's you, and usually that's the biggest return that I get because the seals on the boxes go bad.
Yeah.
Or
but those are your standard Plano boxes.
Plano.
It's not even your fault.
No, I mean, most of the time it's not. But
it's the Plano box.
Or if I don't catch it when I send it out, like I'll look, I'll get it and I'll get it back. Sometimes I say, hey man, here's a return label, send it back because I want to see what's wrong with it.
Yeah, they're notorious for that. The Plano boxes, like the red seal will come detached.
They're all like that. Yeah. It doesn't matter. The only one I know that's completely watertight is that Busby box.
Oh yeah.
But the thing I like them. I really like them, but they're heavier.
Heavy duty.
Yeah, they're a little bit heavier. Like I've had some guys like, man, I love that box because it is awesome. I mean, you can beat the crap out of them.
Yeah.
But they're heavier.
And when you got to wait all day,
they don't want to carry it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, come on.
I do like it. Yeah. I do like them. And I have a modification that I do for those boxes where you can run my strap on one of those boxes.
Okay.
And Anglers Anonymous, actually, I hate to talk about the competition here at Roy's, but
they're far enough away.
Yeah, he's in Houston.
Yeah.
Or Katy, and he was like, he goes, hey, I'm picking up Busby. If can you attach a waiter strap to this for waiting? I'm like, yeah, I'm figured it out. And they've got those little tabs on the back. I'm like, yeah, I just loop that through there and clip it right in.
Yeah.
And he's like, cool. He goes, if I do this, will you do it just for me? I'm like, you want an exclusive? He's like, yeah. I'm okay. How many you want to order? The exclusivity, but put it in an order.
Yeah.
And he did. Mike doesn't mess around. So he put in
give me 4,000.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Yeah. I'd be driving a whole lot newer truck if that would happen. Not the 2014 F-150 that I'm, rolling deep in right now. Yeah. But, yeah, he, so he did that. And I've had a lot of people that, that's their box, man. They love it. Yeah. They absolutely love it. But, again, it's to each his own. But talking about the competition, we're exactly that. I'm not enemies with anybody. I have so far, knock on wood, there hasn't been any of the because you see some people in other spaces, they kind of go after each other. And
I think you would get it like at the fishing show where everybody's around.
Yeah, but you know what, man? I go and make a point to talk to some of those guys sometimes and just see what's going on. And sometimes it's a little tense because I'm their competitor, and some people are like, this guy's my competition or whatever. But I'm not there trying to.
Yeah. Have you talked to any of them guys to like possible collaboration
with other like competing brands?
Yeah.
Not really, because we
does that even happen?
Not really, because we're a competing brand.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that if somebody asks me, why don't you do floats? I'm like, because Stinky Pants does the best one.
Yeah.
And I'm not I don't want to do them. And he's got it nailed. He's got that market nailed down. Yeah, he does a waiter box and I do one. Okay. He's got the new waiter sack, for putting all your weight stuff in. That's awesome. It's a great piece of gear. I have nothing bad to say. And
you don't have one of those.
And even if I don't, and because I do this, and it's just like,
because you could put your fish in this thing if you want to.
If you wanted to,
right?
If you wanted to, if you want to deal with that,
and you could throw it in the washer. This thing?
No, you're better off washing it off with a hose and a brush,
right?
For that. But the whole competition thing is, we all have our lane that we get in. And you see some of it like, well, I'll only throw this, and those guys are my friends. I'm like, they're my friends too. But most guys understand that you're gonna, people are gonna use everything. Because I've worked in the outdoor side, on the gun and firearm side for a while.
Because you do that as well.
Mm-hmm. I do.
What is that one called?
What's that?
The firearm side.
I'm not doing it right now.
Okay.
I'm doing feral full time now. But I worked for a company called Silencer Co. A while back, and I've got some of my buddies. They've got, it's like rods and reels. Like, you go to my house. I've got a Sarge. I've got Lagunas. I've got Waterloos. I've got some of the others that I have. Some Castaways. Other kind of bigger brands. But I mean, I throw them all. And friends of mine were like, "Hey, dude, I've got a different kind of suppressor." I'm like, "I don't care. Thank you for supporting me." But I said, "You've got 3 of our brand. That's awesome."
Yeah.
Like fishing lures or weight stuff, whatever. Like one of my best friends, my best friend Richie, he wears the coastal fishing, the black harness looking thing that's got the rod holders in it.
Oh yeah.
He likes carrying a couple extra rods, and that's just not something I do. I'm more of a minimalist. And he's like, man, I'm sorry, but I had to buy that. I'm like, no, it's a good piece of gear.
Right.
Now buy it, because he rolls out with a kitchen sink when he goes out.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, he's bad.
See, when I've waded, I have a easy wade. Belt.
Those are awesome.
They're bad to the bone, dude.
Oh, they're badass.
But on the way back to the boat, right, you got to take it off. You can't sit with it in the boat seat.
Mm-mm.
If you got a backrest kind of seat, bad to the bone, Mamba seat.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
If you have some sort of backrest seat, dude, you're like uncomfortable.
Yeah. It's just so thick.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, but that, they didn't make it for riding in a boat, and they made it for weight.
Yeah, exactly.
And most guys, I mean, like I wear just a little thin belt to wade in. And when I get off and get in the boat, I take mine off and hook it through the leaning post, or throw it in a bag and throw it up underneath something.
Yeah. See, I had that easy weight belt before both ends of the rod holders were tapered.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And one end was just cut.
Yeah.
All my rod holders flew out.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I think now all of the easy weight belts, rod holders are tapered.
Are they?
For that reason. Now they won't fly out of the damn belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I see a lot of people wearing them, and I've put them on, and I like them.
Yeah, they're comfy.
Yeah, they're way comfy.
It's just, and they help you float.
Yeah, yeah.
You get in a bind.
But for me, I don't like all that bulk. But that's just, again, what's your flavor?
Right.
What do you like?
Yeah.
Hey guys ask me like, what should I get? I'm like, dude, go try this stuff on. Go. I'm big on supporting your local tackle shop.
Right.
If guys are in Houston, I've got 3-4 different shops I can send them to. If they're mid-coast, I'm like, I send them to Jimmy at Waterloo. If they're here, send them here. If they're in the valley, I send them to Hook, Line, and Sinker, or West of Kingsville, or anywhere that carries my stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, go in there and support those guys.
Yeah.
You know, they've got their, you know, this is how they make their
Just
living.
cruise in.
Yeah, just
check it out.
Well, I can't come in here without spending money.
That's true. You might spend $100 before you even get to your stuff.
Oh, dude, if I get down, especially like when it's corky season,
Ooh,
I've got to walk like this past the, you know, because I've got 3 of them at the house.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, okay, I don't need another.
Oh, it's a collection.
I don't need another white corky.
Yeah.
You know, because when my dad passed away, God rest his soul, he was that way. He never passed a tackle store he didn't like.
Yeah.
And he'd come in here, and my mom be like, "Oh God, here we go."
Right.
You know, he's gonna be in here for an hour. He'll be carrying around the little, you know, just it'll be more than
you don't
$100.
even need this stuff.
Yeah, she's like, you know, she'd be like, "Do you really?" He goes, "Babe, you know, this they've been killing them on this code. You don't need 10 bags of it. Yeah, you don't know if they're gonna run out." You know, he's one of those guys,
and they do.
He would do the sweep. You know, if he was catching them on a certain color.
Oh yeah, that's what I do.
He'd piss everybody off in the store. He'd just walk in and go, take the whole thing off. Yeah,
the whole peg.
The whole peg.
He
was one of those guys. But when he passed away, I got all of his top waters and all of his corkies, and I'm just like, unless it's just like a certain color that they're really killing them on. But I'm a big, you know, that hothead corky. And
are you a floater? Corky or a
mostly
sinker?
I'm throwing the floaters, but sometimes I'm throwing the sinkers. It depends. You know, that Texas turnip one, that pink one, the purple back, that's one of my favorites, and just a plain old white corky.
Right.
Just the
that's like your all around color.
Yeah.
Pearl
white. I mean, Sally's late husband, Aubrey Black, who was a phenomenal fisherman. He threw there for a while. All we threw, like it was like 2014, when we were catching a lot of big fish, big trout. And
this is before Texas Parks and Wildlife took them all away from us.
Well, we were still at 5. You know, this was 2014.
I'm just kidding again.
You know, but this was, you know, we were throwing little 4-inch white paddle tails.
Oh yeah.
I mean, all these other baits and stuff.
What kind were they?
I think they were. No, they weren't down south. And I throw a lot of down south. I'm a big down south fan. I throw down south and AM, and I throw JRZ stuff.
Oh yeah.
I like Jerry. Jerry's a good dude.
JRZ. And Jerry's gonna be mad at me about this, but the curl tail, it's not called curl tail. It's called
Jerry's bait.
Yeah, JRZ. It's not called curl tail. It's like a pigtail curl tail.
Yeah, I don't
forget what the proper name it is. Somebody put the name of that curl tail on there. It's a badass bait.
Yeah, that and the scorpion. The
scorpion.
That's a good bait too. I mean, and now he's got that new vibe kind of lure. Hard bait.
But you can't go wrong with a burner chat.
No.
Down south loose burner.
Oh no. I mean, dude, I've caught like my buddy Kyle and Chandelier. He throws nothing but DSL. You know, either supermodel or the small. What's the one in between, the original down south?
Yeah, the original.
Yeah, it's Southern Shad or whatever they call it.
Yeah, something like that.
He throws those and the mirror lure Little Johns. That's all he throws.
Oh yeah.
And like sometimes, man, I don't know if this happens.
Well, they got that new one out. Down south has that
Big Smooth.
Big Smooth.
I love that bait. I caught some fish on that bait.
You like that?
Big Smooth is money.
Right.
Absolutely.
A lot of people are catching good quality fish.
I'll tell you one thing. I've seen some guys hammering some flounder on that.
Really?
Oh yeah, because it's got that. You know, when it goes down, that's so light it stands up.
Oh, okay.
You know, and it just kind of it's so loose. It's
the bait just doesn't lay there.
It's moving all the time, and man, it's just.
I read a comment earlier, and I was just so deep in conversation that I didn't point it out. But a guy said that a big flounder, is harder to catch than a trout.
I believe that.
Big trout.
I can see that.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know either. I've only caught.
I feel like if you're targeting trout,
yeah,
maybe.
Well, I know some guys like that. That's their thing.
If you're targeting trout,
yeah,
you're not going to catch a flounder. Unless you're fishing on the bottom.
Well, if that's where they're at. But you know, I know when you go after flounder, like especially like on a tournament day or something, like we've got to catch a big flounder. You know, you're just creeping it across the bottom, trying to get it right in their face. You're up shallow, you know, fishing off points and stuff like that. And I've only caught one big gigantic flounder in my life. I've caught some good flounder, but I mean, like this flounder was pushing 28 inches.
Oh
It
wow!
was a cooler lid on a small cooler. It was the
Dang.
whole thing. And I caught it up in Galveston.
And you ate it.
Oh, you damn right I did. You damn right I did. It fed me. My buddy Richie was there, and my kids, my 2 kids, and his 3 girls. It fed
What
us all.
did you fry it?
No, we actually
Stuffed it?
we stuffed it. Took the bone out and stuffed it. And dude, the top side of that fish was that
Oh,
thick.
yeah.
Oh, so good. And we ate on that fish for like 2 days.
Oh wow!
Oh, dude, it fed, and because it was stuffed, so you had all that other stuff
Like
and all
Thanksgiving.
the fixing. It was like Thanksgiving. It was like having a Thanksgiving turkey laying there. It was awesome. But
You seen that guy that stuck his foot? He was out there floundering and gigging for flounder,
Mhm.
and I guess somehow his foot got in the way and stuck his foot. Went to the hospital and everything.
I did not see that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would post that information if it was me. I don't know if
Somebody
I could handle
post
the
a picture in
embarrassment.
the comments. I don't know if you're able to do that in comments, but if somebody does, I think Austin Matthews has it.
Poor guy.
Right?
That had to hurt.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's bad.
That's really bad.
The worst things
Poor
that
guy.
could
I
happen.
feel sorry for him, man.
The worst things that could happen gigging for flounder is stab your foot
Mhm.
and your light go out.
Yeah.
If your light goes out,
If that happens at the same time, you stab your foot, then your light goes out.
yeah,
Then you're like the holy trinity of like something else is getting bad. It's
call
getting ready to happen.
CETO.
Yeah. Yeah.
CETO will come and help.
Call the Coast Guard.
Another Marine. CETO,
Yeah.
Corpus Christi, another Marine.
Yeah.
Hell of a job.
Yeah.
I guarantee you those guys, the way I see CETO, Corpus Christi, is he's ready for action.
Mhm.
Like he hears something, he's going to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's, I'm sure you're that way too. I guess that's the Marine mentality.
Yeah. And those guys got to be Johnny on the spot, because it could be, especially if it's bad weather or something.
Oh, dude.
They go out and whatever. And man, I'll tell you what, I don't have a boat right now. I'm boatless right now, but I guarantee when I have my boat, I'll be signing up for another.
Dude, I have a CETO
I've used
membership.
it before, and it's
I got one.
It's great.
And I don't even have a boat.
Really?
Because if somebody on the boat has CETO,
Mhm.
it's still covered.
Yeah.
I think. I could be wrong.
Well, at least you have it, because there's nothing worse than being out in the middle of nowhere and you blow a power head or something happens and spin a prop and you're,
or just an emergency, man.
And
those dudes are quick to react. Multiple boats, multiple guys that run the boats.
Mhm.
They're ready for action, man.
It's a great service.
Yeah,
it really is.
Dude.
Yeah, I've had to,
over there at
unfortunately I've had to use their services more than once. And
really?
We have down south. When my dad lived down, and my mom and dad lived in McAllen for a while, and we were fishing Mansfield, and blew out the my dad. It was the early days of the Evinrude. Before the Evinrude E-Tech came out, it was called the FIC.
Before they made them all into mailboxes.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, this is the precursor to that. Everybody should have taken note then, but we blew that motor up like 3 times.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, it was bad.
I got a Tohatsu.
Great motor.
Tohatsu 10 horsepower.
Yeah.
I do on my little skiff.
Great.
Yeah, man. Dude, I haven't even turned that thing on in 3 years.
I had one on a 22-foot Panga. I had a 90 on a 22-foot Panga.
Oh wow.
And it would push at 37 miles an hour.
Oh, that's pretty
good. And that motor never failed. Never. Ever failed to crank.
I just got so much stuff. Guys, first person to tell me where the heck Feral Concepts is from. Right? Is that correctly how to say? Where he was born.
Yeah, where I was born.
Where he was born and was from a little bit.
Yeah.
Before
I moved off.
Yeah. Before he made the decision to move off. Jonathan Saldivar says, ooh, I saw it. Where did it go? How come I don't see it anymore? Jonathan Saldivar. Did you delete your comment, Jonathan? I see it. I see it here, but correct me here, Mr. Durrell. Help me out here. What are we doing? We got Austin Matthews posted May 23rd on Corpus Christi fishing. If you want to see it, can post a pic on here. We got Fort Worth.
Nope.
Lavernia, Texas.
Nope. That's where I live now.
Lavernia, Texas. We got 2 Lavernias. Jonathan Saldivar accidentally deleted it.
He deleted
it?
it?
What are we going to do, man?
What are we gonna, I don't know, man.
He accidentally deleted it, and now there's another winner there.
There it is right there. You got it.
Oh, there's this guy right here.
Who came in first?
Well, this guy's first.
Ernest Abrego.
Ernest Abrego Jr.
Ernest Abrego Jr. Ernest nailed it.
Oh, dang it, Jonathan Saldivar. Accidentally deleted
Born
his
and raised
comment.
right here in Corpus, man. That's where I grew up fishing.
Well, you know what? I'm going to send both of y'all one.
Awesome.
Since he accidentally deleted it. And here at Spooled Life Live, we're in the business of making people happy. Right? We're not here to get you pissed off and delete the show.
We're the happy guys. Yeah.
Oh, man. Jonathan Saldivar. All right. Here we go.
Ernest Abrego and Jonathan Saldivar. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
This is where I grew up.
Well, you said it once.
Born in Spawn Hospital, man. Yeah.
Congratulations, guys. Man, where can we find you at? Obviously, Roy's. Right?
Well, you can find me here
What about
at
on
Roy's.
Facebook? What is it called?
Just Feral Concepts.
Mhm.
And website is feralconcepts.com and on Instagram at Feral Concepts. So that's where you can find me.
You don't got a Twitter or nothing?
I'm not a Twitter guy. I've got an account, but I just use that usually to troll and look around.
Good luck going around all them Trump posts on Twitter.
Oh, dude, that's why I don't watch, dude. I have to turn it all off or I just get amped up.
Are you going to vote for Trump?
I don't know who I'm going to vote.
Are they going to let him run?
You can still run, even if you're a convicted felon, because half those guys are felons anyway. They're all crooks anyways.
Now
I picked the dirtiest one and vote
you're voting for now.
Yeah, no.
That's some crazy stuff, right?
Oh,
you go your whole life not being convicted of anything, and you become president, and guess what? Now you're all of a sudden
weird, huh? Yeah.
I don't vote.
I do because it's a right that not many people have.
Yeah.
And I've seen people get blown up on their way to get to vote in other countries and that don't have a choice, and we do. So people need to, that's one of our basic freedoms, and I think we take a lot of that for granted in our country because we have it really easy.
Right.
We do. I mean, we have our problems. We're like anybody. We're like a family. Families have problems.
Yeah.
But we got it pretty damn good here.
Right.
Because go outside and go see how other people live. Go around the world and see how other people live, and then come back here and you'll be kissing the ground when you walk back in.
Oh, yeah, dude. Go to somebody else's podcast and see if they'll give us.
See how you're treated there.
See if they'll give a second place winner something, right? Because you deleted your comment too early. I'm just kidding, guy.
Oh, man.
What else we got, man? What's in store for Feral Concepts coming up? We're gonna hear it here first.
I'm getting ready to drop some stuff, and it's still in testing, so I don't want to say too much. But more stuff for the wade fishermen, and I'll be having some of it at the Sportsman's Expo down in the Rio Grande Valley in July.
McAllen.
Yep, down in McAllen. It's the July 19th to the 21st, and
it's coming up.
It's coming up real quick. Yeah. So I'll have some of it there, kind of leaking it out there, and I'll be once I can get some good photos and use it a few more times, and I've got to do some guides using it right now. And once I get the report back from them, like, yeah, this is like either yes or don't do this, then I'll be a little bit more free to discuss.
Right.
But it's just more wade fishing stuff.
You tailor to the wade fisherman.
Pretty much, because that's what I do.
Is there anything coming up for kayakers?
Now that I know you, it's one of those things. I don't kayak fish enough to even be a voice. So I need kayakers to come to me and say, man, I could really use this. And I do have a lot of kayakers that wear the flat satchel because they can keep everything right there and they can still wear it over their PFD.
Oh, yeah.
So, and the way it's designed, it's got the clips on it, so you can just pop the clips and get it off of you real fast.
Right.
If you pull that PFD, you can get it off fast.
Yeah.
But they
I
just
think like a flat satchel for the seat.
Possibly.
You know what I mean? Instead of
Yeah.
wrapping it around your body, you wrap it around the
Right.
seat.
Because I know some guys that go and they'll kayak to a certain spot and then they'll stake out and get out and wade for a little bit and call back in.
Yeah.
I know I've done that when I've kayak fished, but again, it's a vessel to get me where I want to go. But there's some places, man, that kayak's so money because at the bottom is real nasty and gooey. You can fish it. Yeah. That's a great thing about a kayak.
Get the push pole out.
But yeah, I would love to talk to kayakers and see what the need is.
Yeah.
And if it's something, and it comes down to, I can make stuff. I don't do a lot of custom stuff, but there's some stuff out there like, hey, can you make me one of these? And I'm like, yeah, that's not going to take days to make. I can whip that out and let them try it. And if enough people like it, and that's kind of what happened, when I did the big box, my original box was just a small waiter box. Right. And Chris Bush was like, hey, can you make one that I can clip in a bigger box so I can carry all of my
like a double box?
No, it's not a box. It's just the big boxes.
Okay.
So it's just the big Plano box.
Yeah.
I sell it as a
waterproof, bad to the bone.
Yeah. So it just clips right in to your strap. And Chris was like, hey, can you make this? Can you make me one? I said, yeah, sure. So I made him one. And he got online and was like, hey, my buddy Darren made these. He's selling them on Feral Concepts. I called him and said, dude, what are you doing? I said, I don't have any of these in my shop right now. He goes, well, you better get ready. I sold like 25 in a day.
Do you make those perforated? Is that how you say it?
Perforated?
Perforated?
I don't do a flow-through box. I've had some requests to do that.
I feel like that'd be a pain in the butt.
Well, no, it's not really. But do you know that box with all the holes in it costs more than that box?
No, not making it, just dragging it with you.
Yeah. Some
like
guys,
when you're waiting.
Like guys in the surf really like it. But I don't like the latch system on those for waiting because those latches tend to come open. That's one thing about those waterproof boxes. They got the hard latches on them.
Yeah, because they don't care if water gets in those.
Yeah. So
it's not going to be a clamp.
I've had some guys like, well, I'm going to buy that and drill holes in it. I'm like, knock yourself out.
But guess what?
Yeah.
Your warranties.
Yeah. I was like, but I said, if you're doing that, that's fine. But he's like, no, I don't care about it being waterproof. I just, I want it to be able to flow through. I'm like, okay. Well,
I wonder why. Why do they want that?
Some guys just like that.
And then all their lures are wet?
Yeah. I mean, man, when I've got my box full of corkies and, stuff that costs a lot of money, top waters,
a piece.
Especially baffin water, because that's where I predominantly fish is baffin. And that water is so salty. And you pull your stuff out and man, I mean, I hose my stuff, even if it doesn't get wet, just from, throwing it and taking it off and putting it back in the box. I get home and I wash them out in the sink,
right?
Because, split rings get rusty, hooks get rusty, changing hooks. I mean, I change hooks all the time, certain times of the year.
Doing that.
I hate doing it too, but, getting ready, going into the fall, that's like a ritual one day, just sitting there, okay, today.
It don't even matter if you got stainless hooks.
No, it doesn't. There's no such thing.
Right?
They're going to get.
Is that weird?
It's going to get, they're going to get messed up.
Right.
Eventually. So, and they get bent and they get, you don't want that one lure that you didn't take care of be the reason, you lose your 30,
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, there's nothing worse. Get up and the hook breaks off. You're like, man, if I'd have changed that hook or if I'd have retied that leader.
Yeah. See, I'm more of the guy that's going to come in and just buy a brand new lure instead of changing my hooks.
Yeah. I mean, depends on the condition of the lure,
Yeah.
But
nowadays, you catch a fish and that lure is toast.
Some.
Especially, I like to fish a lot with the Soft Dyne XL.
Mm-hmm.
And now.
Especially if the reds get a hold of it. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Reds just destroy stuff. Trout, not so much. I mean, it'll look like it's been through, like sandpaper's gone on.
Like that.
They look all fuzzy.
Yeah, it looks like more like scales.
Yeah. And I've got a couple of corkies and some soft dines, but we got into a bunch of reds on soft dines, and I finally just said I'm not going to throw it anymore. One, I didn't like having to pop all those hooks out of a redfish.
Yeah, right.
And after about 3 soft dines just getting completely annihilated, I was like, I'm throwing plastic at them or something.
Yeah. Try to get away from them a little bit.
Yeah.
I noticed that some of the Soft Dyne XLs have a hole straight through the side of them.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if that's how their machine is grabbing them to put them somewhere. You know what I mean? Or something. But once that internal body detaches from the plastic, it creates a void that fills with water. And now it just doesn't swim as good. And when you get a hit or you catch a fairly decent fish, it's hard to put back.
Yeah, it's hard to get them bent back
together.
right.
Yeah.
And I know some guys that bend their corkies, bend the nose down, bend the tail down. You know, I was fishing with Brett Sweeney, who's a really good guide and usually places in the top 5 of the Legends tournament for the last few years. I mean, he's a stick. I mean, that dude is I think he's part speckled trout. I swear to God, man, I've never seen anything like it. And he's a really good fisherman. And I go fishing with guys like that to learn.
Right.
I'll watch. I'm like, how is that guy doing what he's doing? Because I've had him stand right next to me and completely. And at one time, I just reeled up and I just watched him. He's like, "What?" I'm like, "I'm watching what you're doing."
I want to learn.
I'm like, "Why are you catching 3 to 1, 5 to 1 over me?" And I'm watching what he's doing. I'm like, "Oh, okay, I think I got it now." And then I'll start catching fish.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You know, just
those are the good guides to go with.
Oh yeah,
I feel
like Jay Watkins, guys like that. I've never had the chance the pleasure of fishing with Jay. I've met him a few times and talked to him. He's a very interesting guy to talk to, but he's a teaching guide.
Yeah.
And Sweeney's like that, to a point. It's mostly like, hey, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to catch him, watch what I'm doing, pay attention. Right. And Sally's a really good teaching guide. My friend Justin Broadnax there in Baffin, also another really good teaching guide. He's, it's just guys that are out there doing it all the time. They've got it dialed in.
Yeah.
They're doing it every day.
Yeah, they like that.
Yeah. And that's just what they do. It's like playing with anybody that's a master of their craft. I hate to use the word master or expert because I like to be a student all the time. But, you get good at stuff that you do all the time. And, people come to you and say, okay, show me how you're doing it. And they're really good. They're really good about sharing their knowledge and showing you how it's done. But the main thing that I've heard most people say, and I tell people this too, when it comes to hunting or fishing or golf or anything else, the more you get out and do it, the better you're going to get at it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to be frustrating at first.
Yeah, you're not going to get better staying at the house.
No, you don't get better staying at the house. And if you keep doing the same things over and over and over again and not paying attention, I see a lot of people that are just almost like, why you keep doing that, even though we're all catching fish and you're sitting here doing the same thing. What are you doing? It could be something as different as like, oh yeah, you're using an 1/8 ounce jig head and we're all throwing 32nd right now.
Oh yeah.
It could be something as small as that. It could be the ratio of your reel is not fast enough or slow enough.
Mm-hmm.
And that's causing the difference.
Yeah. They don't make those things just for no reason at all.
Yeah. So it's just like, pay attention. I look at people's gear. I look at how they're tying their bait, everything. And just try to pay attention. So I'm always learning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to learn. And yeah, I catch some good fish sometimes. And sometimes I go out and get my butt handed to me. And that's just part of fishing. That's part of the whole learning process. And I've been doing this my whole life.
Right.
I've been fishing and hunting my whole life, and I'm still learning. And I learn from guys that are young, and I learn from guys that are old. And it's just pay attention. But yeah, you're not gonna improve unless you just get out there and do it.
Right.
That's the main thing, brother.
It's been a hell of a show, dude.
Fun, dude.
Oh yeah.
I had a good time. Now I got to go face the music with Rocky for forgetting his flat satchels.
Right, guys.
I might be back here in 2 hours.
They'll be here by the end of the week.
Oh, they'll be here in 2 days. Sure. They'll be here in
a couple days.
A day or less.
If you're waiting on one, if you're interested in one, couple days, guys.
Couple days.
And they'll be fully loaded here.
Yeah.
At Roy's Bait.
Real quick before we close out, I would much rather people buy from my dealers than buy online.
Right.
I really would. Not that I turn people away. Of course I don't. But if somebody's in Corpus, I'm like, hey, these are at Roy's. Go to Roy's and walk in there and buy one and buy a couple of lures and buy something else. So support your community, support your local businesses. Get out there and do the do.
So yeah, man, it was a hell of a show. The next flyer for our show will be out in a couple weeks. I think it's 2 weeks. I like to spread them out in 2 weeks increments.
Yeah.
Give me time to go get to play them enchiladas or, to just.
It's about that time, man.
Yeah, hang out with the family and stuff. And y'all are more than welcome to join us at the JW Marriott tomorrow night. If y'all are in town, San Antonio, Texas, we're coming for y'all.
He's paying.
Yeah, right. Well, I'll pay for the Karbach, right? It's been a hell of a show. The next flyer will be out in 2 weeks. Y'all go follow Feral Concepts on Facebook, Instagram. Of course, follow Spooled Life Live. I hope the winners are following the show. If they're not, guess what? You do not win. You got about an hour and a half to follow the show. Congratulations to y'all. Austin Matthews didn't win, man. That's tough.
That's yeah.
Austin Matthews wins everything.
Does he?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
He's off.
Yeah.
Something ain't right.
Yeah.
He's probably getting ready to vote or something, like everybody else, right? Guys, enjoy the weekend. Thank y'all for tuning in on a Friday. I know we were early. You know, I try to accommodate to the weather, right? The guests coming in from out of town. We appreciate that as well. As always, if y'all are visiting Corpus Christi, come into Roy's Bait and Tackle. I want to give a shout out to the show headline sponsors, Sarge Custom Rods, AFTCO, Marshwear Clothing, Down South Lures, Tow Corpus Christi, Karbach Brewery, and New Canoe. Cruising to Roy's Bait and Tackle. All them people are here. If you want the best, I mean, where else are you going to go, right?
There you have it.
We'll see y'all next time, guys.